So this is the schedule screen that the coaches will see when inputting their programming. This is actually on a group rolling calendar, so you can see the dates at the top of each day here going across, and the date that's in green is today's date. So we've got Monday to Sunday going across, and then we can scroll down for the weeks following, and then at the top here we can go across to go to the next month, or we can go back to the left to go to the previous month. Now for the basics, each day consists of parts, and you can add as many parts as you'd like, and there's really quite a lot of flexibility with how you want to work that. But just for an example to show kind of how to create a part, you click on Add New Part, it pops up to the right. Each part will need a title, so let's just type in Strength, and then you have the description of that part, which is basically the training content for those clients. So if we just drop in 5 sets of 5 back squats, click save, and that is that part created now and in. And you can then go and add multiple parts, whether you want to add another one, let's just call it cardio, and row 5k, again save, and you can just see how the parts just start tiling underneath each other there. The actual text box here is really flexible with how you want to input your programming. There's no kind of set way of doing things. It's completely up to the coach with how they want to word it, how they want to input the rep schemes. It's pretty freestyle in that sense. When you're in this session part here, this is where you also add media. So clicking on this button, add file or media, will open up a few different options. You can have the selection from hundreds, potentially thousands of Fitr videos that are provided, or you can link in your own through your own team library that you can upload yourself, or links via YouTube. So let's just take a video here. We add that video in, add media, and it drops in to that session part there. So if I click save, that goes in and it exists in that part when I go back to it and for the client to see. Benchmarks is a really handy tool of improving the individualization you can put within your program, especially when you're creating maybe a group rolling program or a fixed length program where multiple people are going to be subscribed to that one program. So let's take this strength session that we just created here, for example. We've got 5 sets of 5 back squats. Rather than kind of putting in a weight or a percentage and then the client's having to maybe adjust or work out the percentage themselves, we can link in a benchmark which will do that all for us, and then on the client side they will then see a specific weight for them to lift based off their recorded benchmark. So we see this green button here, link benchmarks. Let's say we wanted to find a 1RM back squat. So we click link benchmarks, and let's just put back squat into the search. And you can see it comes up with all the back squat rep maxes, but we'll click 1 rep max, add benchmark, and you'll see it adds in here this green code, okay, and it'll automatically add in at 100%. So basically, whatever the benchmark is you're linking, it'll always add in the kind of what the test was and what the client hit for that test. So if I looked on the preview, if I hit a 1 rep max back squat of 180, then it will automatically drop in at 100% back squat, 1RM back squat, and that will show at 180. Now, a few things to be aware of is that this @ symbol here that's gone green, the @ symbol within the system is what basically tells the system that a benchmark code is about to be inputted. So you can see actually here in the client preview that this just says 5 back squats, 180 kilograms. That would read a little bit better if that said 5 back squats at 180 kilograms. So the client would then see the but in the coach side you see 2 ats, but that's just because this second at is what's being used for the system to be able to say to the system that some benchmark code is going in. So that at that second at doesn't actually appear. So you can either write another at there, or you can type the word at, or hyphen. It's completely up to you. So this code, so that's at 100%, and I can change this code if I wanted the 5 sets of 5 back squats to be at 70%. And I could type in 70%, and it's going to churn out 70% of my recorded back squat number. Now you can actually get really, you can take this benchmark coding quite far and really, improve the level of service that you offer your clients by just being smart with kind of how we use this code. So if I copy that same code and I put 2 and 8%, if I write it out like this, you can see how this will appear on the client side at 126 to 144 kilograms. So it gives them a little bit of a range to work between, and again, both based off what they've recorded as their max back squat. Another way you could do this, you could just put set, and on set 1, you want the client to go at 70%. Set 2, you might want the client to go at 73%. Set 3, and so on, maybe 76. So there's increments as you go through. Another option, again, it depends how you want to do it, so it's completely flexible. You could put at 70%, and then you could write increase the load by, and let's say 5%. By 5% each set. So you can see here, 5 back squats at 126, increase the load by 9 kilos each set. And again, you could have people that have got a 180 kilo back squat, got 240 kilos, or even just 60 kilos, and all the weights and all the increments that you're prescribing to the clients will be personalised towards them. And there's a lot of benchmarks that we can work through, so it's not just strength, it's not just back squats, there's all the other lifts, snatches, clean and jerks, deadlifts, bench press, everything you can think of, and it's really easy for us to be able to input a new benchmark if there's one requested. But there's also things like rowing, so if I save that and I go down to here, if I want someone to row 5k and I want them to row it maybe just a little bit slower than what their previous best 5k row is, I can go link benchmark, let's type in row, find the 5k, there it is, add the benchmark in, so it's added in the code here, and let's say I want them to row at 5 seconds slower than what they have recorded as their max time for a 5k. So if I click on preview, this will churn out a pace that will be over 500 meters. If I add that in, that'll churn out a pace for them to row 152. If someone's recorded a 1755k row, that would mean that their 5k row pace is 1 minute and 47 per 500 meters. So if I want them to go 5 seconds per 500 meters slower, I would write +5 in the code, and then this would turn out at 1 minute 52 pace per 500. And again, you can use that in any way. If you're doing rowing intervals, you can put a certain pace for a certain interval, and if you want that pace to go higher, faster or slower, you just keep churning out these benchmarks. Just as a little example, 10 sets, 500 meter row, and let's say you want them to go at their 5k pace. Let's copy the whole thing. So if you want them to go at the pace that they've recorded, you can put that as a 0, and the rest 60 seconds. It opens up a bit more of a flexibility of how you want to use it, and again just gives that individualization to the clients that subscribe to that program. And it's worth looking through all of the benchmarks. There's a lot in here. We've got running, biking, we've got gymnastics tests, and again we can add in a benchmark for you to use, a gymnastics hold, anything like that. Whatever you want to use as a code to input for your clients, then we can pretty much make up anything. And so you don't have to go through the link benchmark. If you start to use this 5k row benchmark or the back squat benchmark and you remember it, you can just input it yourself. So you can see there, that's the snatch benchmark. Let's just say EMOM times 10. 1 snatch at 90% of your 1 rep max snatch, and that will pop up. Make sure we put in. That'll pop up there based off the client's 1 rep max snatch. So, daily leaderboards and challenges. They appear and are created in a similar way, but there are subtle differences in how you create them and also how they function on the back end, and it's important to know the difference. The simplest way of explaining it is that a daily leaderboard is very much just kind of like a throwaway leaderboard, in the sense that you want your clients to be able to record the scores and see the scores on the leaderboard, but there's not too much importance to that leaderboard. The workout's maybe not going to be repeated down the line, and you don't need the scores if it was to be repeated down the line to be able to sync together with how they did on the first attempt. Very much kind of in the way where someone would turn up to a class and record, do the workout, record the score on the whiteboard, and then maybe a picture is taken of that whiteboard, but then the whiteboard's wiped off and forgotten about. But the picture still exists, as does the leaderboard, if anyone wants to go back over time and have a look at it. So that's the daily leaderboard. If it was more of a workout where you do want it to be repeated down the line, and you do want scores to be synced in down the line and updated, then that's where you'd use a challenge. It's also worth pointing out that a daily leaderboard is only for the people that are subscribed to that program. Okay, whereas a challenge, the way it's created, means that people across any programs can do the workout, and all of the scores will then go into the same leaderboard. So multiple programs can do this one workout, and all the scores will fire into the same leaderboard. In terms of how they're created, it's similar in a way. If I just delete this workout and just go through the process. So you will first of all add a new part, as I've created here already. Oh, sorry. Let's just delete that one. So you'd add a new part, and let's just call this workout, and let's drop the workout in. 3 rounds for time, 10 push-ups and 10 air squats. And for a daily leaderboard, you'd simply just click this blue button here, and then this would give you the options of adding a scoring metric. So this one will be for time, and how to order the leaderboard. Slower is better or quicker is better. We'll go quicker. And you have the option of adding a time cap, where you can add in the time cap in minutes and seconds, the amount of rounds and reps, and then that will create a score. If someone doesn't finish in a time cap, that'll create a score for them. And also, if you want to do like an interval style workout, you can do the same, a similar thing there. The amount of intervals you want to do, and the calculation of that leaderboard as well, whether you want them all, some of just a few of the best only, an average, or custom. Maybe you want to pick interval 1, interval 3 and interval 7, for example. But we don't need to add them. You can just simply have it as easy, just input a time, and you'll see that adds in with this blue box here. So this is the daily leaderboard, and this is very much like we say, just like a throwaway leaderboard. If I click save there, that'll create that as a new session part, and then the clients will be able to record their results. Challenges are created in a slightly different way. You have to click this button here to insert a challenge. Maybe you have a challenge that's already been created previously and you want to reinsert that one. Let's say this one here, for example, carrots, peas and rice. 83 people recorded it. And if I was to put this workout in again, those 83 people would be able to put their scores in, and if they beat the score, that would get updated on the leaderboard. let's just take this Fitr challenge that I created. If I insert that there now, so it looks very similar here, but this challenge is kind of created in the back end of Fitr, so to speak. So this same challenge can be inputted in any program on any date, but the leaderboard will always talk to itself and talk to the updated scores that are going in, and will always update with new scores. So if you see, when I click on build, I can't edit this leaderboard in this way like I could with the daily leaderboard. I have to then go into the challenge section where I showed you just before to be able to edit it. So the challenges are different to a daily leaderboard in the sense that a challenge is something where if you're going to repeat a workout and you want the scores to be able to talk to each other, or you want clients across multiple programs to be able to do the same workout and for their scores to all go into the same leaderboard, then challenges is the one you want to create. If it's more just of a casual kind of throwaway leaderboard where you're not too bothered about the scores, you're not too bothered about repeating the workout, and it's just primarily for these people that are on this program, then you would create a daily leaderboard. Creating templates then. So we have two types of templates. We either have a day template or a week template. As it sounds, a day template is just a single one-day template made up of a group of sessions. So let's just put Fitr one-day template. If I create this template now, this basically gives me the same functionality that I have when I was on the schedule screen before, to be able to put the title in, put the content of the session in, and to be able to add multiple parts. So there's more than one, but this is everything that was going to be on one day. So it's a one-day template. An example for this is maybe if you have set warm-ups that you want for specific exercises. So let's say you have like a snatch warm-up that you want to input every time there's snatching in the program. Then you maybe just save, you can save that warm-up in here. And then once it's created, you just need to then input that one-day template in over and over, rather than having to write it out each time. So that's a one-day template, and then we have a week template, and we can click create week template, and then again we have the very similar function to what's in the schedule, in terms of we have this Monday, this day 1 to day 7, and all the functionality in here in terms of adding parts and media and challenges is exactly the same as it is on the schedule. We just have the option to be able to add multiple weeks. So we add week down here, and you can see it'll give me week 2, week 3, and you can create as many weeks as you want there. And then just to save that as a week template, and then once we've created those day and week templates, they are then saved there in the templates section here to be able to drop into as many programs as you want. They're saved there just for use further down the line. These week templates are really good if you have like a squat cycle, and you might want to put, you could put squats there, you could put a squat session on day 2, day 4 and day 6, and then you can replicate that the following week. But, it's completely flexible with how you want to use it. Once you've saved that, it's there and it's saved in your kind of template library for you to be able to drop into multiple programs for the rest of the time you're using Fitr. What a lot of coaches like to use this function for is for the initial design of their programming, to be able to create it all here, and then to be able to choose what programs they drop it into, which is how some coaches use it. You can also do this whole function in the reverse order, so to speak. So if I just go into programs and can take a week that I've already created in here. So if I could select this week, I could then just save this week straight as a template. So it kind of works in the reverse way, where you can either go into the templates and create a template that way, or you could, and then drop it into a program, or you could be in the program, have a week that you've saved, and then save that as a week template to be able to drop into other programs as well. So it works both ways, whichever way works for the coach to be able to do it. And same applies for day templates. You can save the 1 day here by just selecting everything that's in the 1 day, and that will save as a day template as well.